And we're back now on Base Sunday. Our next guest is the author of Black Unity, the total solution of financial independence and happiness. Terrance Amen examines the irrational reasoning behind Black communities spending their money to help other communities rather than their own. He goes into detail on how to solve this with his own national plan of action, which covers education, health, family, business, finance, everything. Dedicated to uniting his people, Terrance has also worked in the areas of health, security, and marketing. And here to talk all about it, please welcome Terrance Amen. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Glad to have you on Base Sunday. Let's talk about the problem. We chatted a little bit off camera, but what is the problem that you discussed?
Well, I think the core problem that we haven't dealt with, and because we've been dealing with this problem for 50, 60, 70 years, is that we haven't really dealt with the psychological effects of slavery. And this is the reasons why that we continue to not support each other. We spend, our buying power is $1 trillion a year. And so, but 99% of that money, or 90 to 99% of that money goes out of our community. So that leaves our community to suffer. So I say that, you know, if we want to call us Americans, we are more American than any American out here because we're the only community that actually does that to that level.
Why? Why is that so? Because
during slavery, we were programmed to not to dislike each other, to not trust one another, to actually fight each other over, you know, the little scraps that we did have, you know. And so that has carried on because we haven't dealt with that on the psychological. It's like an alcoholic. You know, an alcoholic doesn't know they're an alcoholic until they finally realize and admit to themselves that they're an alcoholic. So we haven't really dealt with the psychological effects of slavery because it hasn't really come up. We've been more focused on the social and economic issues, more on what we can get from the government, what the government owes us. When we can actually do these things ourselves, we actually did do them. When we were segregated, we didn't have a choice. Mm-hmm. So this actually gives you an example of why we haven't changed, because when we were so-called integrated, we lost a lot of our community. You know, we moved away from each other. That's where it started. We started buying from outside our community. So another good example is sports, like take the Negro Leagues. Now, during the Negro Leagues, we were very successful with that. We had our own organization because at the time we couldn't play in so-called major leagues. So what happened was the majors realized how good we were and they wanted to win more, make more money, and so they started picking some of our best players. Sure. So what happened to that? Our leagues diminished. And so now Negro Leagues is just like buying T-shirts, hats, and memorabilia.
We talked about family, and I think this is not only true with African-American families, but with everybody. Just the whole sense of a mom and a dad and eating dinner together. And maybe it's more prevalent in the Black community where you have a single parent and there's not a role model, especially for the men, for the boys in the house. Has that been an issue as well, you think?
Well, that's a major issue in our community because for both the son and the daughter, because you need a role model, you know, to implement, you know, to copy, and so that it'll make your life better. But when you're missing one person, you're unbalanced, and so we've basically become an unbalanced community in that sense. And like I said, it all boils down to these remnants of slavery and the mindset that we have, even the food that we eat. Yeah. You know, when you're talking about what we lovingly call soul food, well, that's actually killing us. You know, soul food and fast food are you know, killing us in major degrees.
Well, you call this a blueprint. What needs to be done? If you can encapsulate that in 30 or 40 seconds, what needs to be done? And your book helps as a guide to kind of start a revolution, I guess, more than anything, make some changes.
Well, like I said, the book is really not just a book. The book is actually a start. It's a beginning. It's the first step in a 4-step plan. Because we're doing some great things nationally. The problem with that is we're you know, here, there, and not everywhere. So what I'm trying to do is form a national organization that works with the top programs across the country. And so that way we'll maximize our time, effort, and money while at the same time helping us become the best that we can be in all areas of our lives.
Okay, well, we're out of time, but Terrance, we wish you all the best. Thanks so much for joining us today.
You.
Good
Thank
luck.
You for having me.
Good luck with the book. If you'd like to purchase a copy of Terrance Amen's book, Black Unity, please check your local bookstore. You can go online as well, Amazon. It's there. Check it out. More Bay Sunday coming up right after this. Stay right there, folks.